But if we really want to ask ourselves this when it comes to this whole Shaw thing, isn't this literal misogyny? And you guys know I don't use that word. I don't really use that word on a regular basis or anything like that. I'm not one of these weirdos. But it's funny how they want to use misogynist, misogynistic, misogyny. They want to throw that word out with, they pretty much abuse the word, by the way, but they want to throw this word out with every other thing. But when it comes to this, I have not seen the word thrown around at all. At all. And y'all don't find that funny?
They can't handle it. They can't handle the truth. I'm about to give y'all the truth.
What we saw over the weekend was Giselle Shaw winning the MLP Women's Canadian Championship. Now, there's a couple problems with this. The first problem is, well, Giselle Shaw is not a woman. Giselle Shaw is a man. The second problem, which is the most glaring problem of the situation, is that this is the inaugural MLP Women's Champion. This is the first MLP Women's Canadian Championship match ever. And instead of giving it to the Virtue Signal Warrior and Kylie Ray, you decided to give it to the actual walking agenda, walking Virtue Signal in Giselle Shaw. Now, somehow we went from equality that everyone was fighting for, that all these women and SJWs were fighting for 5 or 6 years ago, now to equity. But that's a whole nother discussion. We ain't got to get into all that. But I just want to throw that out there because I know the smart ones that are listening to this will understand what the fuck I'm saying. And I don't want to get too into the whole Scott D'Amore, Giselle Shaw stuff because I didn't do enough research on that. So I don't know whether they're actually together or not, whatever. I saw a couple pictures with them together. But again, I'm not going to speak on something I don't know about. Okay. So that's that. But I will say Scott D'Amore is also in charge of this company now. And the fact that he wants to slap all of the fans in the face by putting a man cosplaying as a woman as the first ever MLP Women's Canadian Champion, I guess we can see why TNA didn't keep his ass. And I assume they're going to keep the title on Giselle Shaw for quite some time. I don't even watch this promotion, so I don't really care at the end of the day how long he has the title. It's the fact that he is holding a title that is meant for women.
Disgusting.
It's funny how these women fought for so long for the spotlight, right? Oh, we need the spotlight. We want to main event this. We want to do that. We want to hell so we want this. We want that. Women deserve everything. Blah, blah, blah. We deserve the spotlight. You guys are fighting for it. All for a man to come in and take the spotlight. All for you guys to let the man who's cosplaying as a woman take your spotlight. Take your inaugural title. AEW made Nyla Rose the second ever AEW Women's Champion. That was a whole situation a few years ago when it happened, and I talked about it. And that was on a much bigger scale than this one. I get it. But I told you guys, I've been telling y'all for years. We've seen the signs for years that this has been happening in entertainment on every facet. NFL, male cheerleaders, now trans cheerleaders, women refs, NBA. We don't even have to talk about the virtue signaling with the NBA and how less physical that sport is, just like NFL. College, the inmates run the asylum. We don't even have to get into all that. Men fighting women in MMA. And then do we really have to talk about the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match winner, if you guys really want to go back? When Carmella won the Money in the Bank ladder match? Everybody, I didn't hate it. Actually, I liked the angle. I liked that, what's his name? James Ellsworth was involved with it. I like that whole angle. But a lot of people came out and they didn't protest, but they came out and were very dissatisfied with that angle of James Ellsworth is the reason why she won the Money in the Bank briefcase, blah, blah, blah. Do you guys remember that every segment that Carmella was on after they got rid of Ellsworth never did the numbers that they had with Ellsworth on there? Just saying. Let's fast forward to now in WWE. For the past year, Who has been involved with the Women's World Championship between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley that has been doing a lot of ratings and that has been getting bigger and better reactions than both Liv and Rhea, both women, the only two women who were involved with that world title in the past year, other than Io Sky, obviously, but again, we're counting just 2024. Dominique Mysterio. Nobody sees this, though. Nobody says this. Nobody cares, right? They just see, oh, Liv Morgan, oh, Rhea Ripley. But who's at the center of that storyline? Who's at the center of all those ratings? Dominique Mysterio. That's another point. But if we really want to ask ourselves this when it comes to this whole Shaw thing, isn't this literal misogyny? And you guys know I don't use that word. I don't really use that word on a regular basis or anything like that. I'm not one of these weirdos. But it's funny how they want to use misogynist, misogynistic, misogyny. They want to throw that word out with, they pretty much abuse the word, by the way, but they want to throw this word out with every other fucking thing. But when it comes to this, I have not seen the word thrown around at all. At all. And y'all don't find that funny? So basically, men are still better than women. Even in the women's division, men are better than the women. Even when they're cosplaying as a woman, they're better. Oh, hell no. Like I said, man, but yet y'all want to cape and stand for the spotlight for men to take it. I've seen women literally get on this app and say, we fought for this. We fought for men to take our spots to be the first ever women's champion. Your first ever women's champion has a dick and balls. Literally. And this is what y'all are champion. So now we have, I don't know if I can show this video without getting copyrighted. I don't know about MLP's copyright situation stuff. So I'm not going to show the video. But as you can see, Giselle Shaw was wrestling Kylie Ray in this match. So we already knew that Kylie Ray, she was down with the shits. She was definitely down with the shit. She was like, oh yeah, you guys want to, this is going to be, I could see it right now. This is going to be so stunning and brave. I am so happy for you. My mental health rating is going up 8%. Let me stop. But this should tell you that Giselle Shaw didn't do this on his own. You had the support of Scott D'Amore. You had the obvious support of Kylie Ray. If I'm a fan in the crowd, I'm sitting here like, what the fuck did I just watch?
I don't want to come across like a woke asshole, but like, dude, women have it hard. Women have it fucking hard, and I empathize with them.
But there's a bigger problem with this. And I hope you guys know this. There's a bigger problem with this. Because I've been telling you guys for years this was going to happen. Now, maybe not this exact thing, this exact wrestler, and this exact promotion. Obviously, I didn't know that this promotion even existed before today. Before I saw this on my timeline. But I'm going to say this. The same thing I've said for years. The game we love is lost. The wrestling we love, and I'm going to be honest, there's parts of wrestling that I absolutely love and still love. But for the most part, it is gone. It has been overrun by people who are, one, not only fans, but two, have never even studied wrestling. These are people that have said, okay, yeah, I like wrestling. Yeah, I love it, blah, blah. You came into wrestling to change it into something that it's not. I.e. Kylie Ray, i.e. Nyla Rose, i.e. Giselle Shaw, i.e. Tony Khan, for making that decision to put Nyla Rose on that title, or putting the title on Nyla Rose. This is all a product of everything that we have consumed prior to this that we have been dissatisfied with. When we said, yo, that's some weird shit, probably shouldn't be doing that on mainstream wrestling, and they still did it, that's this. That has led to this. They got rid of Scott D'Amore in TNA, not because of this, but because they could see the writing on the wall that this guy is not, quote unquote, best for business. This guy probably should not be booking a wrestling company based off of the fact of this right here that we got. First ever women's champion is a man in cosplay. And yet, you have people out here saying there's no problem with professional wrestling right now. Wrestling is fine. Wrestling is great. Now it was an all-time high. The ratings, the money. Oh, yeah. You mean the same money that now they're charging people thousands and thousands and tens of thousands more to be front row, second row, third row at SummerSlam? This video that I'm about to show you guys right here is a reason why. One of the reasons why I do what I do. One of the reasons why I say what I say. And I don't give a fuck how it comes across. Because as a lifelong wrestling fan, I would rather, and again, it's kind of hard as a wrestler to say this and kind of hard as a wrestling fan to say this. But more of like to shut up and dribble, or at least shut up and like accomplish something first before you do stupid shit like this.
You are openly non-binary.
Yes.
More shades of gray. And your preferred pronouns are he, him, and they, them.
Yes.
Don't you think you're hogging the pronouns a little?
No, in fact, I want everyone to be able to share and use all pronouns.
Sure.
I understand.
Does this not seem staged? Like, who looks at... I actually prefer... Like, these people are fucking insane, man. They're fucking... The pronoun people are fucking nuts. I've been telling you guys for the longest time that I'm so done with this BS. I really am. I'll see a wrestler, I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, they're pretty good. Okay, he's a little flashy, he can flip, he can do this, he's pretty strong, whatever. And then they come out and do shit like this in interviews. And it just makes me say, what the fuck happened to the game we love?
In fact, I want everyone to be able to share and use all pronouns.
Sure.
I understand that I look like a dude, I present as a dude. That's fine if you want to call me.
Because you are a dude.
I don't mind. I want everyone to use they, them pronouns for everyone until they know their preferred.
Whoa. So now you have this Mike Bailey dude saying that he prefers for people to say them, they, until you know their preferred pronouns. I have a word for this, but I'm trying to clean up my language a little bit.
Pronouns in the signature. Faggots!
Pronouns, that is how I would like it to be.
I just think, you can't have them all. These people who are they, them, and just they, them, and I feel like you're encroaching on their turf. Because if you're a he, him, and a they, them, I'm going to default to he, him.
That's fine. Fair. Again, whatever you want.
This is about they, them, not he, him.
If you see me as more feminine and you want to go she, I won't have a problem with that either.
But you didn't list.
What the fuck? My brain is a fucking pretzel, man. My brain is literally like, I'm like...
Because when you...
Well, why? If it's healthy, if it's perfectly healthy.
He, him, they, him, she, her. I'm like, bro. This is the problem. This is the problem. From the stories you hear about that happened in the locker rooms back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I'm not even talking about 20 years ago. I'll even say 10 years ago. Like, I can't imagine this dude walking in the fucking locker room and saying, I prefer to be called they, them instead of he, or, don't refer to me as a he or a him. Refer to me as a they or them. You're one fucking person. One. Singular. So when you guys say, Corn, why do you spend so much time complaining about the things you don't like? Because this is affecting wrestling. We just saw it. We saw it years ago when Nyla Rose won the women's championship. Y'all don't think all this shit adds up? Y'all don't think all this shit is for a reason? Y'all don't think that this shit is orchestrated and planted into the business? It is. These are the same people that will sit there and complain about Jada Parker liking an IG post. or Hulk Hogan, or complain about Vince McMahon and call them this and that and all these different names. But yet you guys are the same people that can't even stick to one agenda. Do you want the women to succeed, or do you want your voice to be heard? And that's it. So one day you want the women to succeed, and the next day you want people to listen to you saying that you want a man in a dress to win the women's championship. And not just win the women's championship, become the first ever women's champion of that company. It's going to be downhill from there. I can tell you that much. Oh, why did Dakota Kai get released from WWE when she was so great, she was so perfect, but yet they didn't get rid of transphobic Jada Parker?
I said shut the fuck up, bitch.
Miss me with that, fam. First of all, Dakota Kai was injury prone. 2, didn't get a pop. 3, injury prone. And 4, couldn't even make it from turnbuckle to turnbuckle when you started watching some of her recent matches, fam. So you ain't got no argument there, bro. I'm sorry. And like I've been saying for years, the sports, college sports, I think it's what, college or high school right here. A dude. All right, here we go. Come on, man.
That's a boy! That's a boy!
It said a boy dominated.
That's a man!
Dominated this track and field event. For what? For girls. And guess what state this was in? California. Look, man, I could sit here all day and just dissect this whole thing from top to bottom, and it'll all lead back to this whole Giselle Shaw thing. But I want to know what you guys think. Hit me up in the comments. Hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm not surprised at all, because I've been talking about this for years, as you guys know. I've been saying it is going to happen for years. The whole role reversal thing, putting women in men's matches, I think that's going to start to be a thing as well. Probably starting with Jordan Grace or Rhea Ripley or somebody. I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think. It's your boy Corn, and I am OUT.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Switch.